You're chilling. Okay, so sliding there. Up, left. You're right. Down.
Wait, what? Up, your left, my wait.
Right, alright.
Just keep moving.
You guys have to say left and right.
Okay, great. Alright.
Okay.
Yep, good.
Scene 2K, take 1, mark.
Okay, 1. Scene 11A, take 1, mark.
23D, take 1, marker. 20A, take 2.
My name is Lydia, and I was the producer for Swan Song.
I'm Ariel, and I was one of the co-directors and the writer of this project.
My name is Amanda Hess, and I was the co-director of Swan Song.
My name is James. I'm the cinematographer of Swan Song.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I am the editor for Swan Song.
I got involved in Swan Song when Amanda reached out and said that the team needed a producer, and I was very excited to work with 2 people who I'd worked for in the past, but not as directors.
I said, you should write this thing, because I want to DP something. And she's like, okay. So I kind of like made myself the DP in the sense.
The morning after my 21st birthday, I like woke up at 6 a.m. Like I wasn't even sure, I just like jolted awake and was like, I need to start writing. And then I just started like writing the script. And then I had the script, and it was terrible.
Ariel contacted me, and she was like, hey, I have a script. Do you want to direct with me? And I was like, absolutely.
I sent it off to Amanda, and she was very kind with her notes, and we got it to a better place. And then we shot it.
I was asked by Lydia through text if I would be a part of this production. I was like, yes, this sounds so fun. I immediately looked you guys up on Instagram and saw all the cool stuff, like your cool trailer, and I was like, yes, this is something I want to be a part of.
A day in the life producing Swan Song was a lot of scheduling. I was a lot of figuring out when to shoot which scenes because we had a few company moves, and that just means that you have to figure out how we're going to get crew from place to place. It was coordinating equipment orders, working to like solidify a crew that could be available for the days we needed them, and would work well together.
Day in the life as a cinematographer was waking up really early, way too early, finishing half-baked lighting plans that I started the night before because I had a million other things I had to figure out. Was bringing PVC pipe, homemade dolly, because we didn't really have a budget to get an actual dolly. Loading that in the car with all the equipment, going to the rental house, picking up all our rental equipment, driving to the location.
It's sort of like a whirlwind. You always have to be on, you always have to be on top of it, you always have to be like thinking ahead and anticipating like what other people are going to need and like what your actors especially are going to need, and you're sort of like a bridge between the cast and the crew and making sure that the cast understands like, okay, so this is what this is kind of going to look like, and making sure the crew understands, okay, this is what the actors need.
It was really hard to find our lead. We were looking for a lot of different things. There were so many talented people interested. And then we met Aria, and like I said, there were so many qualified people, but there was just something about Aria that I was like, she just has the exact energy that we're looking for.
I'd sit down in edit bays after hauling my backpack and all my hard drive and my laptop, and I'd have the script notes open next to me, and then I'd open the project, link all the files, and then just sort of sit there and get into like a flow state. Okay, from the top.
Good. All right, we're ready.
Action.
Oh, the day in the church. I loved that day in the church. James says it's one of the most stressful days he's ever shot.
God, I want to cry thinking about this.
I created this document called Ariel's Chaotic Nightmare, where I like broke down every single shot like in a spreadsheet, and I was like, okay, like this is everything that needs to happen, because we had to shoot on A cam and B cam in the church, and so then I had to like know which things were happening at the same time, but like the A cam and B cam kind of weren't even for like the same scene sometimes, so it was really confusing.
Okay, and hold. Now we're gonna have you guys listen to the piano player. Now you're going to start to overhear the argument that's happening backstage over here, so react to that with insert and go.
But we had like 8 hours less than, not even, to film like the entire second half of the film.
Well, getting inside the church and having to do 40 shots from a 9 to 4, so that's 7 hours. And just feeling like I had to like mark out like, all right, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. I had to tell all my crew, this is what you're doing at this time. At 10:15, you go put up the light. At 10:30, you go take down the light, you know, move it over here.
Can someone turn down the intensity on that light a little bit? Let's wait for baby and mother. Can someone help Joy gap the other legs, please? Mom, can you go all the way out?
Mostly I was just like, I felt like I was about to have a heart attack.
There were points where I was like I need to like have this entire day, like this 7-hour period needs to be memorized.
As a producer, it was more about making sure that everyone had what they needed to get the shots that they wanted, and also ensuring that the crew stayed well when they were running around and things were getting a little bit, I think things were never chaotic, but things were stressful because there was a time crunch.
Again, it like comes down to you have to be really prepared. So we came in with a plan. Our ADs were on top of their shit. Wait, am I allowed to curse? Yeah. Okay, so our ADs were on top of their shit. Pardon my French.
Amanda and I worked with Santa, our AD, on like literally creating a schedule to go like every second of that time in that church was used, and everyone knew what they were doing, and that made it so much easier because our crew was so patient that day, and they were just, everyone was on top of it, everyone was doing what they needed to do, and things would not have run that smoothly if we didn't have such a passionate crew.
Oh, because she puts it down. His sniffs have been in 3 separate audio clips that we've looked at today. Usually, like every time I sit down, it's like 6 hours-ish is usually the time of the editing session. So really flow state. And then usually I want to export something by the end of it. So once I export, I get like that dopamine hit, I upload it, send it to you guys, and I'm like, yeah. The toughest thing is like finding the right footage when things like, we'll have a continuity issue and it's like, God, we don't have this. And that's always the biggest bummer. But it really has not been, I haven't been that frustrated.
My name is Samantha and I'm the film composer for Swan Song. So I got the email, I think it was like 9:30 at night or something. And I was like, oh my God, it's about a student playing the oboe. I have to score it, I just have to. And so that I sent in an email kind of introducing myself and sent over my portfolio, and we seemed to be a good match. And now here we are. So I usually will pick a scene of the day kind of to start scoring, although usually I'll work on multiple in a day. It kind of just depends on what mood I am. If I'm like, I want to mock it up, or if I want to do like the technical side, kind of just depends, and also on deadlines. But yeah, and then I'll usually kind of like spot it, which is where I go through and figure out where like certain melodies are going to happen, what instruments we need. Then I go through and I use some virtual instruments to kind of make the backbone of the score. And then from there, I kind of send it off to get approved, and then I record live oboe, and now we're in the mixing process right now. Yeah, that's kind of the day in the life.
Working with like a larger budget, I feel like I'd only worked on student projects that had like a budget of like $300 or like whatever like students themselves gave. But I never had worked on something where we got a few thousand and we actually like could get cool lenses and we could afford crafty for everybody that wasn't like my homemade fried rice, you know?
Well, it was one of the first bigger projects I've directed since I got to college. And I think like just having a partner to direct it with was like the best part of it. Because I got to learn so much from Ariel, and I just learned so much about like what it means to be a director, because a lot of the times when you're starting out, especially on student films, like directing sort of is a very loose term. So yes, you're working with actors, but you might also be the DP, and you might also be the gaffer, and you might also be like a producer. So this was one of the first times I felt like I could really concentrate on like what it means to be a director, and like really learning how to work with actors and how to like sort of convey a vision, and sort of, yeah, just like learning how to be a director, I guess.
Co-directing with Amanda was the biggest lifesaver because we like split up days. We were like, okay, like you take lead on this day, I'll take lead on this day, so that like one of us didn't get too exhausted. And if there was ever a point where I was like, I'm having like a mental block, like I don't know how to make this work, like Amanda could just step in and be like, okay, this is what we need to do, and like vice versa. Like it really helped. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, co-directors, terrible idea, like the power dynamic doesn't work, but like I think Amanda and I made it work as well as we could. I think it worked amazing, and I honestly liked it better than just directing by myself because I felt like there was less pressure and that I had more opinions on something.
This type of short film is a little bit different than anything else I've done, so it's always like that whole learning experience is, of course, super beneficial to me. It's also probably some of the most footage I've ever had to deal with, and the most time I've spent just waiting for those proxies to cook. So that was like great learning experience.
I really loved being able to work on a project where it was like kind of between me and like the director producer, rather than having to like conform to like certain standards set by like a department, like as you find in school. Like it's really important to have those set at the beginning, but I feel like I'm kind of at the point where I kind of want to get out on my own and just try something. And it really worked well, I think. But yeah.
This is about the process, and even if the film doesn't come out exactly like how I want it or had envisioned it, like I know that every single woman who worked on this project left feeling more confident in themselves and in this role, and will therefore be able to go on and do this again in the future and make something even better and just continue to improve. Really like zeroing in on the fact that like we're a team of like women of color, and James, and
It was the first time I was DPing like an actually like large scale project. That wasn't like something I was just screwing around with friends to make, or I was also directing. So, it was the first time I was like actually like the DP, and that was just my role. Was to get shots, and I learned so much from doing that, and it really made me feel like I want to be a cinematographer.
I'm happy that we were able to pick Project Action because I feel like it helped us find the identity of the film and also the identity of like what we're trying to do with it.
I think I relate a lot to Carmen. It's very easy to get burned out when you're pursuing a career in the arts. So like her struggle of like, do I even want to do this anymore? Is this something that I'm really passionate about? Is there something else out there for me? It was like one I think like I related to a lot, and that was what initially like drew me to the story. But it's also one I think a lot of other people can relate to.
It's really tough when like you have the weight of the world on you and all these expectations, and you're trying to make everyone proud, and also you're trying to follow the thing you're really passionate about or what you think you're passionate about, and then once you're in it you're like, oh, maybe this is not right for me, and having to make that decision like, you know what, this isn't actually the right thing for me is so hard.
Reset.
James, your shoelace, don't trip.
Yeah, I never do.
I think you're a bit of a step.
Alright, you ready guys?
Yeah, let's go.
So one of my favorite moments on set was when we were setting up like it's the shot where Carmen's standing in the like she's in her green dress and we're in the church, and it's just like the camera like pans into her, she's like playing. So all the shots of like her playing were just, I loved that performance scene.
Sharp set.
Action.
Okay, so I was an extra for the church scene, and my scene makes me look like I hate being there, but it's not because I hate being there. It's because I have a resting sad face that cannot be turned off even when I am acting as an extra.
Despite our best planning efforts, I had lost my backpack, and there was something in my backpack that I needed to get the next shot. So I was like, all hands on deck for the black Jansport backpack, echoing, reverberating all around the church. And everyone just looked at me like, what is he talking about? They want us to go find his backpack for him? What is this fool talking about? And it turns out, I think the backpack was probably like a couple feet away from me.
It was like right next to
Yeah, that's kind of how things go with me.
you. James, you
Like, turn
have
up to max.
5 minutes. 30 seconds.
It's like, you know what? I'm gonna save it and bring it back to Boston and enjoy it at my dorm. And sorry.
Story time.
We don't have time for this. Let's go.
Sorry.
It's a miracle that like no equipment was like lost. Well, maybe some was, but
What did you say, the lens cracked? That whole...
I forget what the context was, but what she thinks she said is that she shattered the lenses.
We all heard Ariel say, I shat in the lens.
I did not shit in the lenses. That, I didn't say that either. That, like, that's not even, I don't even know,
She shat in them.
I wasn't planning on it.
They're really bad. I think they're really bad. Or I think I have to turn the high beams on. But
Okay, well, whatever.
Redo that.
That was great.
Wait, can you just turn at him and laugh? Keep the light, keep the light, keep the light.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
I love this cast, I love this crew, and I'm so proud of everything we've done, and I think it's like a testament to show that just how much we love this project that we're still shooting media for it, like months later.
It's been such a joy to work on this project, and I can't wait to have the final product and share it with the world.
I like people that are passionate about what they do. So you don't always experience that when you're like working on class projects. And knowing that that is what film can feel like, I feel like is very inspiring for future projects.
No, it's just been a really fun project to work on. It's kind of like a dream project, you know, getting to score a movie about playing the oboe. Yeah, and it's been, with the wonderful team, it's been an absolutely fabulous experience. Yeah.
Everyone just like came together and it was greater than the sum of its parts. You know, everyone worked really hard and had a lot of fun doing it, and I will value those memories forever.
there were so many times that like everyone on the team supported me when I just needed it, and I really appreciate that. And also everyone who wasn't a head role, like who just hopped on, had no idea what was happening, and just like did what they were did what was needed. And I think also like obviously Lydia, like from our first meeting, she had like a breakdown like with like hyperlinks of like everything that was going to happen in the next semester, and I was like, oh, so like we actually have to do this now. Like this is real. And like it would not have happened at all without her. Like I can't thank her enough.
I think it was really just the satisfaction of it all when we wrapped on that Sunday, and just feeling like, man, that was awesome. Like I feel like this has been such a great experience. I'm really thankful for this. I'm really thankful for this team. I think just that moment where it all hit me was like, wow, that was really special. And I'm so glad I've been a part of that. Yeah.